We're counting down 10 of the weirdest microbes ever discovered. Organisms so bizarre, they challenge everything we know about life. From bacteria big enough to see, to microbes that build their own magnetic compasses, and even viruses so enormous they redefined science, each spot brings a new surprise. But which microbe is truly the strangest of all? Let's begin with number 1. Imagine spotting a bacterium without a microscope, just sitting there, visible as a tiny white strand about the size of an eyelash. That is Thiomargarita magnifica, a single-celled organism discovered in the mangrove swamps of Guadeloupe. Some of these cells stretch over 1 centimeter long, 5,000 times larger than typical bacteria, and big enough to pick up with tweezers. Inside, almost the entire cell is a giant vacuole, taking up about 95% of its volume, surrounded by a thin layer of active cytoplasm. But the real surprise is hidden in that outer layer. Thousands of tiny sacs, called pepins, line it, each one packed with DNA and ribosomes. Scientists found that these pepins act almost like primitive organelles, a feature once thought impossible for bacteria. With a massive 12 million base pair genome and a strange budding process to reproduce, Thiomargarita magnifica completely rewrites the rulebook for what a bacterium can be. Radiation that would obliterate most life barely phases Deinococcus radiodurans. Nicknamed Conan the bacterium, this microbe survives doses 1,000 times deadlier than what humans can tolerate. Its secret lies in a remarkable system for protecting and repairing its DNA. Instead of a single copy of its genome, Deinococcus keeps several, like backup hard drives. When radiation or desiccation shatters its DNA into fragments, specialized enzymes race to piece the genome back together, using the undamaged copies as templates. The chromosomes form rings, making it easier to find and rejoin the broken ends. This rapid repair isn't just about surviving nuclear blasts. It is an adaptation for withstanding extreme dryness and oxidative stress, conditions common in barren soils and even simulated space environments. With this molecular toolkit, Deinococcus radiodurans has earned its reputation as one of the toughest organisms on Earth. Bedelovibrio bacteriovorus doesn't just survive, it hunts. Picture a bacterium shaped like a tiny corkscrew, swimming at high speed until it crashes into a gram-negative bacterial cell. Instead of a simple collision, Bedelovibrio drills straight through the outer membrane and squeezes into the narrow space between the cell walls, called the periplasm. Once inside, it shifts gears. The predator devours its host from within, breaking down the prey's insides and using the nutrients to grow and multiply. When it is finished, the Bedelovibrio offspring burst out, leaving behind a hollow shell. This two-stage life, attack phase, then feasting and reproduction inside the prey, makes Bedelovibrio a rare example of a bacterial predator. Researchers have even explored its potential as a living antibiotic, since it targets and destroys harmful bacteria in places like wastewater and hospital pipes. In the microbial world, sometimes the hunter is just as small as the hunted. When researchers first spotted mimivirus in a French hospital cooling tower, its size caused immediate confusion. At nearly 3/4 of a micron across, about 400 to 750 nanometers, this virus was bigger than some bacteria and clearly visible with an ordinary light microscope. For years, it was misclassified as a bacterium, even stained and cataloged as such, until a team in Marseille revealed its true identity in 2003. That discovery sent ripples through biology. Mimivirus carries a massive genome of 1.2 million base pairs, hundreds of times larger than most viruses. And it even encodes some machinery for gene expression, a trait usually reserved for cellular life. The virus can also host its own parasite, the Sputnik virophage, adding another layer of complexity. Suddenly, the line between virus and cell looked blurrier than anyone expected. Mimivirus did not just expand the known size of viruses, it forced scientists to rethink what a virus could be. Deep in the darkness of a hydrothermal vent, Pyrolobus fumarii thrives, where almost nothing else can. This archaeon grows best at a staggering 106 degrees Celsius and can keep multiplying at temperatures up to about 113 degrees, well above the boiling point of water at sea level. First discovered in 1997 by researchers aboard the Alvin submersible as they sampled the superheated chimneys of the Tag hydrothermal mound, Pyrolobus fumarii pushes the very definition of life's upper thermal boundary. Its enzymes and proteins are so stable they do not unravel in heat that would destroy ordinary cells. Instead, they keep the cell's machinery running, fueled by chemical reactions with hydrogen and sulfur compounds from the vent. In this world of scalding water and darkness, Pyrolobus fumarii stands as proof that life's limits are far wider than most would ever imagine. Salt crystals crunch underfoot at the edge of a pink lake, but the real marvel here is microscopic and purple. Halobacterium salinarum flourishes in brines so salty they would destroy most life, thriving best at 25 to 35% salt, about 8 times saltier than seawater. What sets this microbe apart is not just its salt tolerance, but its shimmering purple membrane. This color comes from bacteriorhodopsin, a special protein that acts like a tiny solar panel. When sunlight hits the membrane, bacteriorhodopsin pumps protons across the cell's surface, building up energy to make ATP, the cell's fuel. Unlike plants, there is no chlorophyll here, and no need to fix carbon from the air. Instead, Halobacterium uses light directly to power itself, a shortcut in the world of phototrophy. In sunlit, oxygen-poor salt ponds, this microbe's purple shimmer is more than decoration. It is a survival strategy written in color. Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans thrives where most life breaks down, in acidic metal-rich waters with a pH as low as 1. In places like abandoned mines, this bacterium turns chemical chaos into survival. Instead of using sunlight or organic food, it draws energy from iron itself. By oxidizing ferrous iron, Fe2+, to ferric iron, Fe3+, Acidithiobacillus powers its metabolism and helps drive the cycle of metals in these toxic environments. This process does more than keep the cell alive, it transforms the landscape, creating vivid orange and yellow mineral deposits seen in acid mine drainage. Industrially, the same chemical skill is harnessed for bioleaching, where bacteria help extract valuable metals from ore. In the wild, Acidithiobacillus shapes entire ecosystems built around acid and metal, proving that even the harshest, most corrosive places can be home to life if you have the right chemistry. At a depth of nearly 2.8 kilometers inside South Africa's Mponeng gold mine, scientists discovered a world almost entirely ruled by a single microbe, Candidatus desulforudis audaxviator. In this fracture water, more than 99.9% of all microbial life belong to this one species, forming a rare natural monoculture. There is no sunlight here, no connection to the surface, and nutrients are scarce. Instead, desulforudis survives by using hydrogen from reactions between water and rock, and by reducing sulfate for energy, building everything it needs from the bare chemistry of the deep earth. Its genome encodes all the tools for independence: carbon fixation, nitrogen extraction, and even the ability to form protective spores. This microbe does not just endure isolation. It thrives in it, creating a nearly self-sustaining ecosystem deep below the reach of light or most life. In the hidden biosphere, sometimes one microbe is enough. Some bacteria have a built-in sense of direction. Magnetotactic bacteria craft tiny magnets inside themselves, crystals of magnetite or greigite, each about 30 to 120 nanometers long. These crystals line up in chains, forming a kind of compass needle that runs through the cell. By sensing Earth's magnetic field, the bacteria can swim straight along invisible lines, steering toward the sweet spot between oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor zones in muddy sediments. This magnetic navigation isn't just a party trick, it's a survival tool. letting them quickly find the perfect chemical neighborhood to thrive. The process behind it, called biomineralization, is so precise that the magnetosome chains rival the regularity of manufactured compasses. In the world of microbes, building your own navigation system is just another way to master life in the unseen depths. Wolbachia is a master of subtle sabotage, quietly infecting up to 70% of the world's insect species. Its signature trick is cytoplasmic incompatibility, a kind of reproductive booby trap. When an infected male mates with an uninfected female, their offspring never make it past the embryo stage. But if the female carries Wolbachia, every egg survives, and every baby inherits the microbe. This genetic sleight of hand drives Wolbachia to sweep through entire populations, reshaping insect family trees in just a few generations. The result isn't just a single infected bug, it's a population transformed. Scientists have turned this microbial manipulation into a tool. Releasing Wolbachia-infected mosquitoes in cities like Yogyakarta has cut dengue cases by more than 75%. A microbe that once only rewrote the rules for insects now helps tip the balance in the fight against human disease. Across all 10 microbes, one truth stands out. Life rewrites its own rules. Microbes aren't just invisible, they are astonishingly inventive, thriving everywhere from boiling vents to inside insects. Their weirdness isn't rare, it is nature's norm. The microbial world reminds us that life's possibilities are far stranger and broader than we imagine.